Sumac. So we'll talk about Sumac, one of my favorite herbs. We'll talk about that in depth. And I don't think we talked about the kidneys yet, so the Sumac has not come up. And you'll notice if you know you can still see the Sumac berries right now. Look for them in your area. And dark red or sort of burgundy red. And that is the color of a blood builder. We'll see about that in a bit. Shallow breathing or weak lung capacity. Now, this is very often actually a kidney weakness. The inhalation, the ability to breathe deep is actually a kidney thing, whereas exhalation is under the lungs. According to Chinese medicine, I've definitely found this to be the case. So shallow breathing, weak lung capacity would go along with asthma and sleep apnea. And there's two great herbs here, nettles. Dorothy Hall, our great Australian herbalist. Hi there in New Zealand, almost to Australia. Maybe you're influenced some by Dorothy Hall, truly a great herbalist. So she used nettles to increase the iron so that you would make more hemoglobin and then you'd have more reception, is how she interpreted it. However, the kidneys are strengthened by nettles, and that's partly how I would interpret it. It deepens the breathing. Actually, that's how I would interpret it now, but maybe she's right. Maybe, this is beyond medical science because we're out there intuitively doing things that they haven't thought of because they're not holistic enough to see the whole picture. Also, they're not treating anemia this way. The other remedy for shallow breathing, this has helped me a lot, sleep apnea. I sleep much, much better. That's Schizandra, and that has, guess what, berries that look almost exactly like sumac. And this one also strengthens the kidneys and the breathing and holds back, for instance, both sumac and Schizandra hold back when you pee too much, like waking and peeing too much. That's helped me with that. Or peeing during the day or driven to go to the bathroom really quickly or whatever, frequent and urgent. But it strengthens and deepens the kidney, the respiration through the strengthening the kidneys, I believe. So that's number 7. Then we have 8, poor metabolism in the liver, a wrong in the blood-making organs, as Scudder says. So the liver makes blood, and in fact, the color of the liver, the burgundy color is the color, burgundy gray is the color of the liver and the bone marrow, and that's the color of the plants often that help with making blood. Yeah.
Kitchen is ready.
Oh, are you guys? Excuse me.
If you want to move in there, you can.
Are you guys going to watch TV? Are you going to? Excuse me. I'm at my parents' house here. We're negotiating. Okay. Well, I'll sit here until you start making a lot of noise. If you guys want to meet my parents, you can in a bit here. They're going to have their 90th birthday in a couple months. So, and they've done holistic medicine their whole life, or at least from middle age. When I started to get interested, then they said, yeah, let's do that too. And now that they're in their late 80s, they're a little more dependent on modern medicine than they previously were, but they're still doing pretty good. Avoiding extra drug use is one way to live longer. Okay, poor metabolism in the liver, not making the blood well enough. This is why, for instance, anemia in cats, I know vets very, very definitely favor giving liver as a tonic for cats that need to rebuild the blood. And I've seen that work myself. I haven't used it that much in humans, but there are desiccated liver, and there's just plain eating more liver. One of the advantages to desiccated liver, you can get it where it hasn't been heated, so I believe the enzymes are still alive there. Whereas when you heat it, you damage the enzymes, and not quite as helpful that way, but it's still wonderful. You got to get it organic, because I'll just lecture on liver for a second, because inorganic fed cattle just or range-fed cattle too is good. Range-fed or organic. Regular cattle. My friend Dennis Anderson, who's a practitioner out in Mondovi, Wisconsin, was a farmer. He said the liver of conventional cattle is just punky and full of pus. they're already ready to die by the time they get to the slaughterhouse. Whereas regular liver is, still just looks like, the liver we've always had that's for sale, because nobody would sell that other kind of liver. So organic, etc. Number 9, poor circulation to the surface, a lesion of the circulation or a lesion of innervation. So there's not good strength in the arterioles because the nerves aren't strong. They're innervated by the sympathetic nervous system. Or because the capillary bed is passive, it'll just fill up or empty according to the arterioles. And so this produces a pale complexion. Now, this is really interesting because they will have a normal hematocrit. We had a case like this about 2 years ago in Madison, Wisconsin, in a class I taught there, and there was a woman who had been pale her whole life, and her friends knew her. She was in her 50s, and they, pale. And we looked at her tongue, and it was pale. But she said, but my hematocrit is normal. I'm not actually anemic. And someone suggested, I said, well, it's probably not enough blood at the surface, and how could we stimulate that? We tried various things, but one of the students suggested turmeric, and boy, boom, that made her get some complexion. So that opened up the circulation. We would think I would have thought cayenne more, maybe we tested that, and then we tested the turmeric possibly. I'm sure I tried my pet favorite, rosemary. Rosemary's for low blood, brings the blood back up to the head. But no, she needed turmeric, which is not so much a blood builder, but it's a stimulant like that. So that's number 9. Number 10, blood loss, menstrual, and then anemia, pregnancy, number 11. So those kind of go together because the great remedy there is Rehmannia root, which we're going to go over, which is a Chinese remedy, cooked Rehmannia root.